Hi, I'm Christina, and I work here at Facebook and Instagram on the Entertainment Partnerships team. And today I'm joined by the wonderful Jo Jones, who is a beauty PR director and leads the communication strategy for some of the world's biggest beauty brands. Jo teamed up with Sali Hughes, journalist and broadcaster, to create a force for good in the beauty world. Together, they have co-founded an amazing community-driven social enterprise called the Beauty Banks. And that is what we're here to talk about today. Hi, Jo.
Hello.
So to kick things off, can you tell us a bit more about the Beauty Banks and what it is that you do?
Sure. So there are 14.2 million people in the UK right now who are living in poverty. A third of those are children. It's roughly about 1 in 5 people. And a significant number of those people can't afford to be clean and to keep clean. They have to choose between buying food and buying personal care items like deodorant, shampoo, shower gel, toothpaste, all the things that we take for granted every single day. Sally and I independently became very aware of a term called hygiene poverty, which basically addresses this issue of people not being able to afford to keep clean. And we decided to do something about it. We both work in the beauty industry, we both have good connections, good network, and we decided to take some action.
And can you share a bit more about how that story actually began?
Oh, okay. So it was a bit of a roller coaster, really. I mean, we just started very grassroots level. We contacted a friend called Lauren Alexa, who's an amazing illustrator, begged her to create a logo for us, a little illustration, which she did straight away. And then we posted it on Sally's Instagram. And we kind of expected it to gain some momentum, but actually what it did was explode, and very, very fast. We launched in February. On a Sunday, while my kids were doing their gymnastics class, Sally posted on her Instagram. And today, I think we've got about 13,000 followers, and they're very active followers as well. So yeah, it kind of took on a world of its own, really.
And what was it that really, sparked the decision? You and Sally are both really influential in the beauty world. What was it that really sparked that and you decided to take action?
I think becoming aware of something like period poverty, hygiene poverty, knowing that girls are going to school with rolled up socks in their underwear or newspaper or tissue because they can't afford sanitary pads, that they're skipping school, that mothers have to ration their babies' nappies because they can only afford 2 or 3 a day, or that, a homeless person, a homeless man who wants to go for a job interview can't afford to shave. Once you know that stuff, you can't unknow it, and you can do something about it, or you can ignore it, or you can do one thing about it. And we just decided to go at it and to see what we could do and try to marry the haves with the have-nots, and just to see, we know we can't change the world, but maybe we can change the world for one person, which is kind of what our motivator is.
And leading on from that, can you share any stories with us of people that have actually managed to get help through the Beauty Banks?
Sure. So we don't actually service the end user. So we don't service the people who will use the products. What we do is we service the intermediaries. So that will be a registered food bank, all registered charities, could be a refuge, could be a homeless shelter, youth centre. We've actually done quite a lot of, supported quite a lot of high schools, which we weren't necessarily expecting. So we send them hygiene parcels, big deliveries of sort of 15, 20 boxes of shampoo, shower gel, deodorant, all pre-packaged and sorted, all brand new, all unused. We source product from industry colleagues that we know, direct from brands and also from individuals, package it all up, and we deliver it to registered charities who then in turn give it out to the guests that they serve.
And so throughout this journey, what has been one of the more surprising things that you've realised?
I think we hear a lot about the bad in people and how people today are selfish, selfie-obsessed, when actually we've seen nothing but the good in people. And it's so humbling. People want to donate the product, they want to help, they want to volunteer, they want to drive. It's not glamorous work. It's very sort of manual, a bit sweaty, get a bit hot, a bit uncomfortable, and it's certainly not glamorous at all, which beauty would probably denote that it would be, but it isn't. And people want to get involved. We get so much positivity and feedback on our Instagram account, on Facebook as well, where we've got groups, community groups, where people sort of talk to each other and support each other. And those conversations are overwhelmingly positive. And it really does spur you on to kind of continue doing what we're doing. It's a really good motivator.
And so you mentioned obviously Facebook groups and Instagram. How have you been able to really grow your support and reach those people that want to help?
Well, we don't want to create an organisation. We don't want to create a charity or a company that requires a vertical structure and loads of staff. So, for instance, we don't have an outpost in Sheffield or Birmingham, because to do that and to manage that would require a company and a structure, and, whereas all that we get donated goes directly where it needs to go. We haven't even had time to have a website yet. Our whole window to the world is through Instagram and Facebook. So, as I say, we started on Instagram with one post of the logo. That is literally how it started on that Sunday on Sali's account. And it snowballed from there. Because it's a global platform, the reach has been quite phenomenal. And we've had people in New Zealand who have copied, not copied actually, that's quite the word, been inspired by what we're doing. And they've come across us through Instagram. They've created their own social enterprise that's similar to ours in other countries. That's amazing. But it's more that, so the Instagram becomes Instagram stories is like our background, like our back of house. All the unglamorous stuff, like the lifting, the delivering, so people can see where their donations are going and how they're being used. That's really important to us. We want that complete transparency, and Stories offers us that transparency. And we also have some quite fun with it as well. We pepper it. We don't want to be a sort of, this is awful, this is terrible. Yes, it is awful. Yes, it is terrible, but this is what you can do about it. And you can be really active, and Stories gives us that platform to do it. Whereas the main grid on Instagram is our kind of like our more sort of official sort of storytelling area, where maybe we would tell a story about a particular issue that's happening at the moment that we want to draw people's attention to. Like at the moment, the UN ambassador for extreme poverty is in the UK at the moment on a 2-week tour to try and understand why a country which is as rich as Britain has so many people living in poverty. And that's where we tell that story on Instagram, because it's an important story. We want people to know about it. We engage a lot with people over Instagram via direct messaging and so on. And then we use Facebook as community. So we see ourselves, Beauty Banks is a community-powered project. It's all about empowering people in their own communities to go and be a beauty banker themselves. Contact us, ask us for our assets. We'll send them to you with some guidelines and some messaging. You print them off, you do your own collections in your own area, and then we'll connect you with a charity in need that's in your area, which means what's donated local can stay local. And Facebook allows us to create groups. Like we have a bankers group and we have a volunteers group, so that whenever we want to have a discussion that's particularly about volunteering, we go to that group to do it. When we're looking for volunteers, we go for that group to see who's free. Anyone can join, but it's very much sort of configurated around a specific conversation. So that's how we use both platforms to work quite differently for the needs that we have for the enterprise, not organisation.
And so you mentioned obviously donations and becoming a banker, but what are some of the best ways that people can actually help make a difference here?
I think people can, whatever anybody can do is good enough, because everything counts. Nothing is too big or too small. It's all with the confines of what is possible for you. For someone, that may be making a huge donation of product via our retailer, our e-retailer, who are called eShow, who operate online. That could be buying £100 worth of product via them, not having to do anything other than go online, order it, and then it all gets delivered to us through them. Or you can become a banker. So join our Facebook group. We'll send you all of our assets, posters that have been created for us by an amazing company called Design Bridge. Lots of cool, fun messaging. Print that all out in your area. Set it up at your business, your workplace, your school, your home. We'll support you on our social channels. So on Instagram, we'll support all of your efforts to really inspire others into doing something quite similar, or to encourage donations in your area. Or you could do that once. You can be a banker once, or cut us out of the equation entirely. We don't mind at all, as long as products get to where they're needed. So go onto the Trust All Trust website, put in your postcode, find out where your local food bank is, phone them up, ask them what they need, and then take them some deodorant or some shampoo, whatever it is they need. But ask them first, because sometimes they don't need specific things, and it's always good to understand what they need so that you can service them accordingly.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. So if any of you want to find out more about the beauty banks, just go ahead and follow them on Facebook and Instagram using @thebeautybanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.